In the plans that Bill will present to you and Cornelia will discuss in more detail, it is important in terms of context to look at how they value nature by reducing the area built on of the whole area that Duneland actually purchased. How they reflect living lightly and consciously. And they reflect living closely together to help create conscious community. And they take on board that they're a genuine attempt to aspire to the highest and the best. The plans, they grapple with tensions between affordability and high eco specifications. They work with the fact that we need to comply with all the conditions that the Moray Council Planning Authority place on modern permanent housing, and the fact that we do not have the option to create eco-mobile structures as are possible on the foundation land. These plans try to honour the original investors by making it possible to pay them back. The company's investors have generously restricted any profits beyond 8% so as to maximise monies available for community benefit. This project sets out to pay for infrastructure will be important in the future as it will make possible the building community buildings on part of the land. One of the main challenges of the project will be people buying the homes because they have the money to do so, but not necessarily wanting to get involved fully in the work of the community. That is why Duneland has chosen to keep their hand on the tiller and find appropriate structures to make sure that this project adds to community rather than dilutes it, and that living here is not used solely for personal gain or a comfortable life. Mechanisms still need to be put into place to do this, but it does not mean that we have to delay the physical building of this project. Yes, if you give me about 3 minutes, okay? All right. Well, what we need to look at here tonight is the form of the development that is to be built. So just getting back to the history, I'll just put up a slide, 1 minute here. Okay. I'll just go back. Oh, no, this is actually not the right slide here that was put up. Excuse us. I actually had a whole list here of different things that should have gone there. But that's all right. It'll summarize it even better. Yes, just in terms of change, the area that the site is on was actually part of the Ministry of Defence property and was involved in a gravel quarry for the dispersal pans for aircraft all around the area from RAF Kinloss. And up at Pine Ridge, certainly when we were here in early 60s, there were a lot of Nissen huts and the mess hall and the toilets and so on. And they've been adapted. Rose Cottage is now a cottage. It was a mess hall. The playhouse was a toilet block at that time. And then the formation of Wilkie's estate and the plantation of the woodland. That's back in the 1950s. So my parents arrived here with Dorothy and Lena and family to start community in 1962. And it wasn't until 1997 that Duneland actually purchased the land of the estate. And that was offered to the foundation. Beforehand, there was a group of people that got together there. And then I could go through all the different steps here. One of the things that is important is that a long time was spent getting agreement with the foundation for the access, and there was a land swap involved there. It took about 7 years to do that. There was also time that was spent in getting outline planning permission, and that only came through in 1998. Is that right, Will? 2008, sorry. In 2008. Okay. Okay. Okay, so I mean, I need to round off now. I need to hand over to Bill, who's going to actually give the details of this this development here. But you know, I believe in the potential and goodness of this project to help revitalise aspects of the community, which I have personally spent so much time and effort, you know, forwarding what the company does. And that's why, as of April the 1st, I will be coming out of my teaching job to become managing director of this company and taking over Bill's role. And I will use my energy and drive and skills to ground the project and sensitively guide it to completion over the next 2 years. Okay, so Bill, over to you.
Okay, yeah, as Jonathan says, it's very appropriate, having had that introduction from the old-timer here, and as the new kid on the block steps out, it's just really great to be reminded of the long view. I just wanted to, most of my presentation will be a very quick run through the plans, and the main purpose of my presentation is to not tell you exactly what's there, but to interest you enough to go and have a good look at the plans. There's A1 copies of almost all the drawings we're showing. They're in the upper foyer there with a comments book. I really urge you to go and have a good look at those rather than seek to dwell on the detail of what I'm going to show you tonight. It'll be a whistle-stop tour. I did want to start with this, which we've shown before, which a few people said was very helpful. It's almost an extension of what Jonathan said, taking the historical perspective and bringing it into the current situation. This is the current park development plan. It was prepared between 1998 and 2000 and hasn't been superseded because the community hasn't prepared a new park development plan. And in the year 2000, you can see that, I mean, this is the magic triangle for those of you who don't know it. The basic shape there is the magic triangle. The hall is at the bottom, and the 2 runways you can see there. You'll see a lot of versions of this plan in a few moments. But in the year 2000, the community wanted to cover the High Dune Ridge with housing. That's the area 12. The area 11, which is the fire pit, dancing green, and all the area immediately north of the runway to Cologne, was proposed as a new central area for the community. Workshop spaces, guest accommodation, community facilities, commercial activities, major parking provision, including buses. And 10 was retained woodland, and 15 was the dunes. So that was the view when Duneland came on board with the project, as it were. And as you'll recall, one of the one of the first things we did when we started actively engaging with the development project, which we couldn't do for another reason that Jonathan didn't mention, which was that there was an embargo on us developing this land until the field was more or less complete. That was one of the planning conditions that was incorporated in the local plan. But when we did start engaging on it, we did 2 listening to land processes. This was the outcome of the more formal of those, which was then fed into a master planning and outline planning process. And again, you'll see the magic triangle shape there. Basically, red is dense development, moving through yellow and orange to less dense development to green where nature predominates. So that was the recommendation. It wasn't the listening to the land process didn't have any formal authority, but it was a recommendation. And I think we've certainly honoured that much more than the previous park development plan. And in doing this, the consequence of this is that these are the development areas that we're now pursuing in phase 1A and 1B. And even with the phase 2 areas which aren't shown, which are just a small extent